What do Will Smith, Imagine Dragons, and New York Times bestselling author Simon Sinek all have to do with each other? Me. I've had the chance to see all three of those this weekend. I'm at one of my favorite conventions, which is called Dentsply Sirona's Ciro World 2017 here in Las Vegas. And they do a great job of balancing the technical dental stuff along with other things that will inspire us, motivate us, and help us to have a good time. As part of the conference this weekend, I've had a chance to see Will Smith do a question and answer with our audience. Also a private concert with Imagine Dragons, which was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And then also a question and answer lecture with New York Times bestselling author Simon Sinek, who is absolutely one of my favorites, probably my favorite author and speaker. So to have those three things happen all in one weekend, you can imagine how exciting it's been for me. I wanted to share with you some lessons that I learned from each of those three. First, I want to talk about Will Smith. I've loved Will Smith for forever, since I was a kid watching him on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Parents Just Don't Understand was my favorite song when I was a kid. I've always admired him throughout his career because he seems to always seem so positive, and you can tell that he's a hard worker and that he's always motivating. Anytime you ever see a clip of him on YouTube giving a speech or see a quote after one of his movies that's come out, you can just tell that he works hard. I think he was just raised really well and has a lot of positivity going. And so having a question and answer interview with him was really neat because he told a little bit of his life story. The one story that I loved that I really wanted to focus on today was he talked about a time after Parents Just Don't Understand, after his album had been the first to win a Grammy for a rap album. And it wasn't long after that, after his world tours and everything, that he found himself essentially broke. And he moved out to Los Angeles, and he was there with his girlfriend, just sitting around, bumming around, probably depressed that where he had landed after all the success he had had. And she told him, "You're not sitting around here. Why don't you go hang out at Arsenio?" And many of you remember the Arsenio Hall show. She said, "Go hang out at Arsenio. There's always things happening around Arsenio. There's always famous people around there. Just go hang out there and see what happens." So he goes down there and he's just hanging out day after day at the Arsenio Hall show. And eventually he runs into a TV producer. And that producer tells him, "Hey, we've got this show that somebody pitched for us that I think you might be perfect for. I'm having a party at my house coming up in a couple days. I want you to show up. There's going to be all the NBC producers there, and I want you to give an impromptu tryout for this role." And he thought, "Great, I can do that. Yeah, I've acted." Now, he didn't really have any acting ability, but he was pretty confident in himself that he could do it. And so he went to this party, and he gets there, and that's when he starts to get nervous. And he goes to the producer and says, I don't think I can do this. I can't make this pitch. Can we reschedule this for another week? Maybe give me some time to get ready." And the man told him, "Right now, I have all of those producers here in my house. We could go ahead and schedule it for 2 weeks out if you want. But in 2 weeks, there's going to be one or two of them that can't make it. And so we'll push it back again for another 2 weeks. And there will be another one or two that won't be able to make it. And eventually, it'll get pushed out so far that it may not happen. You've got all of them right here, right now, and you have an opportunity to make a decision that could change your life. What do you want to do?" And obviously, we know that how the story went. He went out and he did his audition, and they loved him. And because of that, they loved him so much that not only did they cast him in the role, but they changed the name of the whole show to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It wasn't ever supposed to be The Fresh Prince of anything. They didn't have Will Smith in mind. But because he took that chance and didn't put it off to a later date, he was able to do something that changed his life and changed my life. I love that show. I mean, how many of us don't want to sing along anytime you hear the jingle from that show? So the message from Will Smith that I loved was to take the opportunities when they come. Take the chances. Even if you're scared, take a chance on yourself and go out there and do what you've always wanted to do. I loved it. Yesterday morning is when we got to hear from Simon Sinek. If you've never read his book, Start With Why, I highly recommend it. It might be my favorite book of all time, definitely in my top 5, especially if you are a business owner, a parent, starting a business, a YouTube channel. Anything that you might want to do in life that's a new endeavor where you may be working with other people, or even if you're working by yourself, the book Start With Why helps you to focus on, why am I doing this? And if you can't answer that question of why am I doing this and am I passionate about what I'm doing, then you may need to find something that you do feel passionate about. He's a fantastic author and he's a great speaker. He talked to us a lot about leadership yesterday. His newer book is called Leaders Eat Last, which also is wonderful. He also said that being a leader doesn't just mean being in charge, but it means taking care of the people that you've been put in charge of. And when I heard that, I thought so much about parenting and how parents are leaders. It's not just about being in charge and bossing our kids around, which a lot of times I'm guilty of doing, is just bossing them and hoping I can just force them to do the things I want them to do. But really being a leader as a parent or as a boss in my office is to look at the people that I've been charged with leading and take good care of them. Make sure that they feel safe, make sure that they feel respected, make sure that they feel that they can express their opinions. With my children, I need to make sure that they know that I care about them and that I love them. And when they feel safe and when they feel like I care about them more than I care about making them do something that makes me feel fulfilled, when they know I care about them, they'll open up. They'll want to be a part of the family and come talk and share ideas with me. And so from Simon Sinek, I really learned that leadership is not getting out in front and pulling people along or getting behind and pushing them along, but it's about being with your people, being with your family, being with the people you work with, making good choices and taking good care of them, thinking about them as people, thinking about what they've got going on in their life outside of the office, not just forcing them to do what you want them to do in the office. And that when you care about people that way, you become a real leader. You become someone who people will want to get behind and follow. Lastly, I want to tell you about Imagine Dragons. We had that concert last night. Incredible, absolutely incredible. To be in such a small room with so few people, with such a major, amazing band, and with the lights and the lasers and everything, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I really liked their lead singer took time in between songs to just talk about his life, talk about his past, maybe give some advice. And his daughter was in the room. She's 5 years old. He talked a little bit about how he always wanted to be a musician and that his mom pushed and pushed and said, no, you should go to college and you should become something else that's more stable and more maybe acceptable. And he held on to this passion of saying, no, I want to be a musician. No, I want to be a musician. To the point where eventually he dropped out of college and was living in an apartment with the rest of the band, and they were completely broke, and a lot of them had dropped out of music school, and they were just there making music, following their dream and their passion. And you really got the feel for, it wasn't just a dream for them. It was a passionate dream, but it didn't just happen overnight. It wasn't just that they were living at home, got a record deal, made money, got a big house, anything like that. That it was years of the struggle and years of being broke and poor and having everybody tell you to give up on what you wanted to do and believing in themselves enough to know that they had the talent to do something great. And so I really learned that, here I am, I'm starting a YouTube channel. This is a total first for me. It's not something I really ever expected, but it's something I'm having a lot of fun doing. And I'm really passionate about helping other people do better in their life, move ahead in their life. There are a lot of other things that probably would be more productive with my time, the way the world sees productivity. Probably a lot of things I could be doing that would actually make me money. But I'm passionate about doing this. I'm passionate about talking with you and giving you any tips or tricks that as I'm learning how to make myself a better person, maybe I can help you learn some tips to make yourself a better person. And when you make yourself a better person, you start to make people around you a better person. If you become a better boss or coworker or a better parent or a better child or whatever it is, when you make yourself better, it has a ripple effect out towards everybody. So if I can help you, I know that you can help hundreds of people because you're out there to make a difference. You're on the earth to make a difference. So I hope you've enjoyed these little life lessons that I learned this weekend at this conference. I wasn't really expecting to get any of those out of this conference. I expected to learn how to do fillings better or how to fix somebody's tooth when it hurts. And I'm coming away with a lot of just wonderful knowledge and ideas and skills that I can take to go home and be a better person in my life, be a better dad, a better boss at work, do better at everything that I want to do. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate that you guys watch, that you follow, that you subscribe. Those that have been watching or that have subscribed, you guys are the start of this whole thing. I think we have 120 subscribers as of today, and you're that first 120. And I hope that those that are watching that haven't subscribed can join in and become part of this, that we can all grow together, that we can all do better, and that we can all make difference in our world, wherever our world may be, and that we can affect people around us. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you.